Yeah.
Mhm.
I was looking through a bunch of old pictures and I found one that I don't remember if we saw before. Um, let's see.
Yeah,
Or the
I
cathedral.
didn't. I don't remember seeing that.
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
Dave,
that's
you look
For
great.
me. Dave, you look
Never
fantastic.
seen that
mhm.
Hmm.
in front of the St. Louis Cathedral. Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did
look
you
so
take that,
boyish.
Tom?
I have no idea.
No, I was just, I don't, if we saw it, I hadn't seen it lately because I was going through pictures and I say, oh, we saw that recently. We saw that. And I said, oh, I don't remember seeing this one lately.
Yeah.
I don't think
Oh,
we've seen it in a while. That's neat.
went,
Can you make it bigger than that so we can see Dave's face a little better?
not
It looks
necessarily.
kind of like this one. I got
Um,
good shot. Good shot of the car.
It is a good shot of the car. That's
now
beautiful.
I can make
Yeah.
it larger on my screen. Does that make it bigger for y'all?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
does make it bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Right.
See, Dave, you look the same.
Dave, you look like Lassie.
It looks like I'm sticking my head out through a dark bush or something.
Yeah.
Maybe you're getting ready to run inside an usher or something. Huh?
I got my skimmer on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
got it. Yeah. I went down to
That's a
St.
great picture.
It's a good picture. That is.
Yeah.
St. Louis Cathedral. Hmm.
Oh yeah.
In my
Beautiful.
heart.
I
That's
think
it.
you were an altar boy then, weren't you? You were going there to work.
A wayward altar boy.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah. Here comes
Yeah.
Snake. All right. Kent, did you hear from Mike Johnson this week?
We've been texting almost every day. He just texted me a while ago and said that he was going to was going to try to make the call, but they were moving him. He went from home hospice to hospice a few days
He's in a
ago.
facility now. Huh?
I'm sorry.
In a facility now, not at the home.
Yeah, in a facility, and they were moving him from one to another. He just told me, just texted me, I don't know, half hour ago or 40 within the hour. So he said he didn't think he'd be able to make it because he was moving. So
Mhm.
That's
Had he been with his sister? Was he living with his sister? You remember?
yeah, he sold his house several years ago and moved in with her. So she's been his rock and taken
Mhm.
care of him for I don't know how many years, but several years. So
Oh, Snake, good to see you.
Hey, Snake.
Hello, Snake.
Snake.
hello, Snake.
Yeah. Well, here's a picture, I think, from the Denver club, but I don't know if it's going to be big enough to see.
I don't remember seeing that one. Yeah.
Can
Yeah,
y'all
I
see
don't-
that? Okay, or do I have to make it larger?
Yeah, that's
It's
good because we don't have any pictures of the outside of the club.
yeah,
That's good. Yeah.
yeah. Is that you, Snake, in there? Second from the right. I thought
That
so.
it is.
Come on, maybe he's off again.
No, he's on. He's just I don't think he's got his mic on.
Okay.
Might be because he's tall.
That looks like him. 'Cause
There he
it's
is. Hey,
tall.
Snake. Can you hear us, Snake? Oh, I can't hear you. Your mic isn't on. Or maybe your beard's just muffling your voice. I can't tell.
Didn't this sound?
Yeah.
Now your sound's off for sure, and your picture.
I don't think I've ever seen a picture of the exterior of the Denver club.
No, I haven't either. Kent and I went there for a couple of weeks when we stayed with Mike Johnson.
Snake,
We worked there a couple nights.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can anybody name the band members? I know they're kind of dark. I just
I can't even see.
All right.
let me see if I can.
I think that might be Snake because he's tall. For the second. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of.
I think
Yeah.
the banjo player on our right might be Jerry Goodleaf.
Who was the washboard player then? You know?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. Mike Johnson may have sent that to me some time ago. I don't remember. But I was just found some pictures I don't remember us seeing before.
Yeah.
Hank, I'm sorry, we still can't hear you. I don't know if you know any of these guys or not. You might have to write on a little chalkboard or something.
Hit your sound thing somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the only other club I've been to was the Denver club. Went there a couple of times.
Yeah.
I was
The only
up.
club I ever went to was the New Orleans club. So.
Yeah.
All right. Here comes Chris.
Yeah, I have another. I just opened my phone and saw the text from Mike. He also said that Dennis, and he spelled it Zcindreay, had a stroke recently. Can't play banjo right now. He's okay, but can't play banjo right now. Of course, he says hi to everyone.
Hey, Chris.
Andre, what do you
How you doing,
guys?
Hey,
Good to
Chris.
see you.
would say, Chris?
How you doing?
And I had you on the TV all day Saturday for the job.
I know they've been running that show, all of those shows that I recently made, all over the country because it's March Pledge Week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So it might be is it on RPBS here too, Barry? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was local PBS here.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Me
is.
and Chris for hours.
Well, each show is 2 hours, so they're not short to begin with.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
In my younger days, I used to do live 4-hour shows.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's crazy. It was longer than a football game.
With no halftime, no marching band. What is this?
No well, there was a halftime because we would break away for the pledge break,
Okay.
So we would do 12 minutes of cooking and 8 minutes of pledge, and 12 minutes of cooking and 8 minutes of pledge. And
Oh.
in the meantime,
Mute yourself.
what?
Snake keeps muting himself.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of Chris and Mike from some time ago.
That was I went with my wife to Denver and got in touch with him when I was there, and we spent the whole day traveling around. He was showing me everywhere. We drove up to his cabin, which was covered in 4 feet of snow. So we didn't get to, sort of hang out in the cabin or anything. We went to a bar that he was familiar with, and they were familiar to him. He was familiar to them. But he was great. He just showed me all around and was
That's good. That's nice.
perfectly welcoming and cordial. And Mike and I never played together. We met each other at these reunions. That's where we got to know each other. But he was in Denver. I was in New York. I was in Philly. I played in Chicago and Boston and a couple other places. But we never actually played
That's
together.
something Mustache did, brought us all together.
Yeah,
With a bet.
absolutely.
I can't imagine
That's
Mike knowing all these bartenders around town, though. I don't understand.
How is that?
Strange.
Talent.
Yeah, that's one thing when you worked in a quarter. Like usually, there wasn't hardly a bar you can go into that you couldn't get a free drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Of course,
true.
they expected the same when they came into your joint.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Well,
of
yeah.
course. You reciprocate, right? Okay. All right. Well, Miss Emily, what's up? Anything new up there?
No, I'm waiting for Brian. She's going to be here any day now.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
that's exciting. Can't
Is
wait.
it a writers' convention, or is she just coming in to visit? Or
She just decided to come home for a while. My will-o'-the-wisp. I'll tell you all about it next week if I see her.
yeah, and I read her last missive about her stay in Paris, which was
Right.
kind of it's like reading a diary sometimes more than a short story or a bit of prose. So it's
Exactly.
Kelly, I hope you can show that picture I sent you last night about the box thrower.
Well, you did the box. We had the box thrower last week, I think. Is that the new one? Were you throwing
Yeah.
the box off the balcony?
Yeah.
I think Tom had that. We showed it last week. Remember, it was a a shot from Bourbon Street, and there was somebody. It looked like Kent throwing a box off the balcony.
Well, I want to see that one. I don't remember that.
That one's still here.
It looked like Kent. It was somebody with a beard, and he was throwing a box
Well,
of skimmers.
You have it, Billy?
Huh? I'm going to take a look, but I
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was last night.
know we showed it last week, but
No,
I think Tom put it up. Let's see.
I don't think so.
Let me take a look.
Well, I got this one ready to go, and I'm going to look for the other one.
Yeah. The
I
thing
thought
is,
this was I haven't done this one for a while. This was pretty cool.
Very cool. Wow.
I mean, everybody looks kind of young there.
Because they were. Hey, it's amazing when I look at this picture. There was a thing on PBS here about how the Beatles came to America and what they went through to be on Ed Sullivan. And what a big deal it was for them, because that's how they, and so this was a bigger deal to have Your Father's Mustache Band on there than I was sitting there when that show was on. I went, oh shit, Your Father's Mustache Band was on there more than once, right? So I don't think I realized when we were working at the club, it was never talked about what a big deal this whole chain was and everything else. I don't, at least I don't remember. It may have been talked about, but I had imbibed too much or something. But
no way. No.
Somebody said that the guy standing next to Ed Sullivan is a young Joe Terra. What do y'all think?
Oh yeah.
I just assumed it was Joe Terra. It's not.
No,
I think it is.
no, he's one of the waiters.
Ah,
Okay.
I can't remember his name. Jerry something, I think, maybe.
Can you guys hear me now?
Could have sworn it was Joe.
Yeah, we hear you now, Snake. Hear you. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Show that other picture. Maybe Snake.
I'll put that other picture back up, but I did find that one Barry was talking about while we were talking here. And one thing that's unusual, I just switched to YouTube TV, and of course it must have pulled up as I'm going through the channels on there. It must have pulled up my search history about Your Father's Mustache, because one thing, you might like this, and I pulled up a video, and it was on my big TV. I didn't see what the link was, but it was Your Father's Mustache Band playing at one of the. It was like one of the reunion concerts or something, and they played a medley, and I can't, but I enjoyed it. I usually don't watch them on my big TV, so I'm gonna have to try to find out what that was and maybe try to pull it up. Anyway, I found that picture. I'm gonna pull up the other one with the Denver band in it, but I found this one Barry was asking about. It was a street shot facing Your Father's Mustache. This back here, if you can see, make it larger.
somebody's throwing a box.
It looks like Kent a bit throwing a
Ken.
box. I'm assuming they're throwing a box of skimmers because I think Muggs would kill him.
Yeah.
Somebody's
let's hope.
down. Somebody's down there getting ready to catch it.
Yeah, must be skimmers.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that it has a beard and all that, and kind of built like you, Kent. So I was thinking it was you.
if it was a box of mugs, that would have killed somebody.
Yeah, that's what I said.
A box of skimmers, you could handle, but
Well, that
at least
picture
on an 80
came up
pound or
on
100 pound box of mugs.
That
Lisa,
picture
what-
came up on Facebook 2 nights ago. I said, I wonder if I know that guy standing there. And then I looked, it was small. I said, look, somebody's throwing a box of skimmers.
Look, it wasn't a keg.
Yeah, but
Light beer though. Light
that
beer.
wouldn't be Bob Osborne on the bottom. I can't.
To me, it could be Eddie Ali down at the bottom.
Yeah, it might with the hairline look like it could be
That,
Ed
look-
Ali.
that might be Ed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be Ken up top throwing the box. Ken, is that you?
I can't tell. We did, Tom and I lived upstairs off and on because we traveled. So that could be me. So, we moved boxes around to earn our keep in between traveling and changing apartments. So
Yeah.
I can neither confirm nor deny that is me.
I think it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, And what was the other one we were looking for? Oh, I got to go find the Denver one again.
Denver
Okay.
Club for Snake.
All right, let me take this down here.
Never seen that picture.
Okay.
I wonder where the box of skimmers would be going.
Maybe an outside job. Sometimes to come to outside jobs.
Yeah. Let me see.
Somewhere they were looking to have fun.
Let me see if I can find that picture again.
If we were to try to steal some, it certainly wouldn't be a box of skimmers.
Yeah, right. There's a big resale market for skimmers.
Yeah, if you got something, Tom, it might take me a minute to find it because
Okay,
my eyes are challenged.
Take it to Mara the Hatter's store.
well, I think I showed this a couple weeks ago, but I always
yeah.
Every time we see that picture, we say, "Who's the girl?"
Who's the girl? I always like Billy's glasses.
Oh, yeah.
I was in my Harold Lloyd.
There we go.
Hmm.
I see the resemblance.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's not it. Okay. It was heavy black. It was all black and white. So let me see. Here it is. I got it.
See if you know these people. Yeah.
This picture, of course, it's very contrasty and it's black and white. So see what I can do with it.
1967.
Is that you, Snake? For one, number one, is that Snake? Is that you? Second from the right there.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought so.
Oh, I thought so.
Yeah.
Thought so, yeah.
You remember the rest of the band members?
On trombone, that could be LeBeau.
With that stark contrast makes their pants nice and bright and white.
Yeah.
They still didn't have hair.
I can honestly say our pants never looked that white ever.
You know the other people, Snake? Yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah, it's a shame it's just all because, like I said, we don't really have a good shot of the exterior of the Denver club. You can't really make much out there. It looks, like what they call like Codolith, where it's no gray tone at all, just black and white.
It could be Vanasek or it could be Jerry Goodnight.
That's what I said.
Jerry Goodnight second from the left.
That's right. That's what I thought.
Yep.
That's 1967. Yeah, that's what it
And I'd
says.
say Vanasek.
Hey, Snake, how long did you play at the Mustache?
Oh, I don't know. Off and on for several years.
I think Mike Johnson was the one who sent that to me. Let's see. Get this out of here.
In 1967, I think I was a sophomore in high school.
Just graduated from college.
Yeah, I was also a sophomore in '67. So
67. I was 7 years on the job with Gates. Of course, I'm
So you
old.
kept playing after you were at Gates then, Snake?
Oh, yeah.
find something else here. Okay, all right.
Barry, I get a question. Are you into New Orleans memorabilia?
I mean, I guess I don't know.
Well, I was going through some of my brother's stuff, and he had a bunch of stuff on New Orleans, and one of them is well, it says it's all 50 years old or more. It says a condensed history of New Orleans.
Wow. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got a number of books on the history of New Orleans.
And then it's got pictures of or one penny postcards of well, one's let's see, I gotta have my glasses here just a minute. One's Hotel New Orleans. One's the gateway to Metairie Cemetery. One's the old St. Louis or old St. Louis Cemetery.
Hotel New Orleans used to be right across from the Mustache on Bourbon Street.
Well, are you interested in this stuff?
No, that's all right because I'm probably not going to look at it anyway. I got a whole lot of books on New Orleans.
You can send it to me, Snake, if you want.
Sure, email me your address, Bill.
Okay, I'll send it to you. All right.
'Cause,
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Anyway, speaking of history of New Orleans, now this is an old Mardi Gras picture before the police used to use barricades separating people from the parades.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
That's coming off up St. Charles just onto Canal Street.
Mhm.
And you can see the band marching in the middle of the crowd. And like it's just the crowd just closes in behind the band, and here comes the
Wow.
yeah. That's
What year was that?
5-2.
I don't know what year it is, but it's Rex for sure. But
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
zoom in it all on it. But yeah, it's kind of
Mighty.
That's crazy.
That's wild. That's Rex.
yeah. Well, there weren't as many parades back then. I mean, usually like there might have been a couple before Mardi Gras Day, but Rex and Comus were the two big ones back then
Uh-huh.
on Mardi Gras Day. And you even look at the crowds of people. They're dressed up. They're wearing hats and stuff, and not wearing. The crowd isn't costumed. They're just watching the parade.
Probably in the 50s, I bet. 40s or 50s.
Yeah. Well, I went to it in the 50s, and we didn't dress like that. So like probably even earlier than that. And they did have barricades when I went to it as a kid.
Yeah.
Um,
the 60s, started the 60s, and they had.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know where I found the
40s.
photo. Yeah, that would be a mess, huh?
It had to be a hell of a band with 6 tubas.
Yeah.
They might have started with more, and some of them got stolen. Well, that'd be a heaven for pickpockets out there, huh?
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of history of New Orleans.
yeah.
Hey, Jim.
Good afternoon, all.
Yeah.
Nice to
Hello,
see
Jim.
you.
Hello.
Oh,
Jim, could you put that Denver picture up one more time?
Okay. Let me see. Well, I got one quick Denver one I pulled up, then I'll put that one back up again. This was just somebody from Denver at the
Ted Turner.
Hmm.
That's Ted Turner.
Okay. Now let me go back and find the other picture. Let me get it. Go ahead. Load it up again.
Yeah, that's it. I think it could be LeBeau and Goodnight and myself and Vanasek.
Good old Bob Vanishek. Oh boy.
I know the washboard player can't be Mike Johnson.
No.
No.
No, no.
Somebody say Mike is in trouble health wise?
Yeah, he's in hospice now.
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear from him this week at all? Really?
Yeah.
I think Kent
I-
said he did, but
I've been texting with him almost every day. He was in home hospice, and then then he went in last week. He went into a institutional hospice, and today he was hoping to be here on the call, but he is being transferred to another hospice.
Oh,
So
is he reachable by internet?
we text back and forth. It's hard for him to talk. The COPD is pretty rugged right now.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so he can. We just text now. We're not talking. We're texting. So
Yeah, he got in touch with me this week. He wanted to the Carnegie Hall YouTube link. So I sent that to him.
So he's got his computer. That's good. Okay.
He must. Yep.
I can do that.
He might be looking at the thing after the fact. If he can't talk, he might be watching it. We're thinking of you, Mike.
Yeah, I never saw that picture.
Yeah, never did either.
It's a good shot. And a lot
It's
of
good.
time.
Yeah.
That washboard looks like it's been played a little bit.
It's got some miles on it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's always unusual not to, because he'd always send me an email or something at least once a week with some things he had for me. So, we'll see how it goes.
He's a great source of pictures. He had a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But well, Danny, I told Danny about it at lunch last week, and his sister remembered Mike also.
All right.
Danny's sister remembered meeting Mike too. So
Well, I don't have Mike Johnson too much, but here's one with Barry Maynard, Charlie Hernandez, and
Bruce O'Neill.
Bruce O'Neill, Prince Valiant.
that had to be early '70s there.
Yeah.
I remember all them.
Oh, no, they're not that old.
That was 72.
No,
Yeah.
Who's the tuba player?
Charlie Hernandez.
Hernandez.
So he was a tuba player right around the time that Pete Veronese was there too, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
That wasn't his tuba. That was Loyola University's tuba, which got burned up in the fire.
oh my.
I got burned up in the fire, and I had a banjo that was burned up in the fire. Obviously, it wasn't the one I'm holding.
Uh,
Yeah.
I was playing a Janey banjo then. For some
Janie. Oh my God.
mustache guys, all the mustache guys went and got Janey banjos.
Oh,
Yeah.
from that guy in Philadelphia. What was his
The
name?
guy in Philadelphia, I can't remember his name right now.
Oh,
Ivan.
Ivan. Yes, that's him.
Ivan and Les Muscat used to play Janey, and we all loved the way Les Muscat played.
Sure.
Figured we could sound like him if we played the same banjos. So I think Bruce is playing a Janey. I'm playing a Janey. So both of the banjos in this picture are Janey banjos. Because
Yeah,
all of us went and got them. There was about 5 of us that ordered a Janey banjo from Ivan in Philadelphia.
my goodness.
And guess what? That banjo I'm playing,
Yeah.
Ivan built it for me. I think it cost me $425.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And that was high back then.
Yeah, that's why I didn't buy one from him.
High. Now that's a drop in the bucket, but
Yeah, boy, is it ever.
$425 was a lot of money back then.
In '72, my house note was only $122. So it was like,
The good old days.
yeah,
No, the daily interest is there.
yeah.
Maynard looked like he's had a couple drinks on that right there.
Well, he probably did.
What is Maynard still around?
Yeah.
He came on one of our Zooms, and he
He joined
had
us,
his
yeah.
trombone over here and pulled it up and started playing.
He was playing his trombone and singing in the Zoom. That was a kick.
Yeah.
This picture's a little blurry, but I found it. I think Barry must have sent it. He may have to describe it to us. Thought,
That's at Captain Tony's Saloon in Key West, Florida.
is that Danny with you?
And that's Danny singing one of his songs. He had 3 or 4 numbers that he'd do. So that was Danny taking off the tuba and doing a vocal.
Yeah. Might have been Bell Bottom Blues, huh?
Yeah.
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 Danny's legs look long there, huh?
Yeah. It looks like one of those marionettes with you can't see his feet.
Done it? It really does. Yeah.
On stilts. So
Yeah.
Yoakum was
Hey,
on
Tom.
that job. Yoakum and Joe Terra was on that job.
Oh, yeah. That's quite a band.
Hey, Tom, I just sent you a couple of photos that I found
Yeah, I
on
have
the
them right
computer
here.
overs.
I just pulled them up when you sent them. All right, so let's
We get dexterous here, Tom.
there we go.
Oh, Big Bill.
It is big.
I survived the other two guys.
Yeah.
And as usual, there's Barry in the background playing the guitar.
Right.
He's everywhere.
So, right when Big Bill started coming around, all the guys in the band used to refer to him, not in a bad way, but we called him Fat Bill because he was fat. And one night he came up to me, he said, "Man, I'd appreciate if you guys didn't call me Fat Bill." I said, "Well, how about Big Bill?" He said, "I love that." And every time I saw him after that, he said, "I'm the one that gave him his name."
Okay.
That must
Changed it from Fat Bill to Big Bill.
right behind him. That must be Higby, the only left-handed bench. Only left-handed bench.
It's Higby on the end.
Yeah,
He's blocked by Big Bill.
right.
The guy in the yellow shirt right above Fred Hendricks is Jesse Denton
Oh, yeah.
player.
That was a heck of a good time in 1987 that Joel did. It
Yeah.
was wonderful.
I think, Ken, it was our best reunion as far as having fun because we still were fairly young back then.
That's right. And we didn't have to worry about a Carnegie Hall concert.
Right.
There was not as much pressure as there was. I don't know. I didn't have to do anything in New York except enjoy, but you didn't have to prep for a concert. And Carnegie Hall's kind of a big deal too,
Right.
So
You're right. At this thing, it was all about partying.
it was all about fun.
Yeah. Big Bill was a nice guy. He was a very nice.
Yeah.
There he was.
He was bartending at Molly's for a long time after the mustache in years because I had moved to Texas and then I'd come back into town. First thing I do is go down to the quarter and see if Big Bill was at Molly's.
Yeah. And then he later on moved to Thailand, and that's where he died.
So the mustache was burning down literally. And Dutch, the owner of Fritzl's, walks up to me. So what are y'all going to do? I said, I don't know. He said, you can start tomorrow night in my place. So we did. But I told Dutch, I said, but it's not just the band, it's the whole atmosphere, it's the waiters. So like he said, can you get any waiters to come work for me? I walked over to Big Bill. I said, you want a job tomorrow night at Fritzl's? He said, sure. So Bill came, he was part of the package.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh,
Oh, speaking of which, I got a little picture here. Let's see.
Roger.
I got one up from Kent right now, Bill.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Roger and Edwin.
Good old Roger.
I lived in Boulder and was food and beverage director at the Hilton Harvest House, which was the biggest liquor outlet in Colorado. We got written up in Newsweek as being the world's largest happy hour. We used to do some big days of your father's mustache on Friday afternoons. It was this hotel right in Boulder. I used to have 40 bartenders and 20 cocktail waitresses and 20 doormen and beer runners. And we used to do, on a football day, it was a couple blocks from Folsom Field where the CU plays. We'd do $50,000 or $60,000 in one day, and beer was $1.95. We'd go through 5,000 cases of beer on a Friday.
Good Lord.
And so one day I'm walking in and Edwin is sitting there. Out of nowhere, I hadn't seen Edwin this is 78, 79. I hadn't seen Edwin in 3 or 4 years. So I hired him to be a beer runner and then we used to put big cow tubs out just to sell beer. And Edwin was there. And so we spent a lot of time together. And then suddenly one day he disappeared, never heard from him again. Same thing with Bob Osborne one day. He showed up in Boulder. It's like, how did you find me? But it was fun.
Yeah.
Harvest House.
A lot of fun.
Harvest House was a big deal.
It was a huge deal. Yeah,
Dungeon.
mind blowing. It was like Mardi Gras every Friday.
Barry sent me that, just a picture of the Molly's Irish Pub and
The dungeon.
Dungeon. You could, if you went to the bathroom in Molly's, you could end up in the dungeon. You know.
That was after hour spots for mustache people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two completely different bars. You know.
Got the dungeon.
Yeah,
You
that
could
was the
walk out
weird
of
the
there
first time I
at
went there.
9 o'clock in the morning, and you go, "Wow, it's sunny outside."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
But I sent you another one of the tomfoolery going on at the 1987 reunion too. So
That's Denver.
Okay.
That's the Denver group.
That's the Denver group again.
Condrey, Mike, Clark, and LeBeau.
Yeah.
wow, Mike looks so young. Of course, they all do.
They all do.
Just a bit.
And the way we used to do it for Mardi Gras on the Friday night before Mardi Gras, that was the day where the New York band members played with the New York band members, Denver played with Denver, New Orleans played with New Orleans. In other words, the bands that were used to playing together like this one. Then the rest of Mardi Gras is all mix and match.
And
Yeah.
one year we had bluegrass, right, in the afternoons.
I don't remember that.
I could have hallucinated that, but
I
it seems
remember-
like that.
I remember trying to make out the schedule from Friday to Tuesday and getting everybody to play with everybody. In other words, you had a chance to work with all the other musicians. And look, that became a chess match trying to do that.
And all I remember is we'd play New Riders of the Purple Sage before work or after work. Sometimes we were setting up or striking. So maybe that's what you remember.
And man,
That's
Denver
possible.
came out. I remember those guys came out with those pants. They thought they were hot shit, boy.
Those pants are too much.
They thought they were hot shit with their 10 Denver t-shirts on and the pants. Oh man, they took the stage like we're here to get the trophy.
A Mardi Gras trophy, but I think, well, it's just exhausting. It was fun, but Mardi Gras was so tiring
Yeah.
because, at least for the waiters, I mean, the bands would change, but I can remember going on for a 12-hour shift at least, you know, just like no breaks, no lunch. You just kept going, you know.
Well, also, if you had a break and you'd walk outside on Mardi Gras Day, you couldn't get anywhere. It was
And we were the safe place.
Yeah.
And that I believe in that Dennis Condrey playing
Yeah,
next to Mike.
yeah.
Yeah. We just said his name a few minutes ago.
I played with him about a couple months ago.
band the bra up on the left-hand side.
Of course, back in those days, you didn't have to. It seems like
Well, Mike had been leading the New Orleans band. At that point, that Mardi Gras for like 2 months. He started in January, so he was the band leader of New Orleans club, but he come from Denver.
let's see, I'm not sure who that is in the picture. Let's see.
I'll tell you, Danny, all the different pictures of Danny, he always looks so different.
Yeah.
Between the curly hair, this,
Yeah.
his weight, it's just amazing.
That's your Red Garter days, Barry?
That's Red Garter in Wildwood, New Jersey. Me and Danny and the other guy with the beard is Sheldon Ginsberg, who was a trombonist, but he was a musical genius. He studied at Juilliard,
Ooh.
did freaking symphonies and operas and stuff like that. He in the daytime
Wow.
he was write music,
Goodness.
but at night he played trombone at the Red Garter.
Juilliard will only take you so far.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, I sent you another picture.
Yeah.
If it arrived or not.
Now, this is just a picture from the reunion at Bonnie and I snuck in a picture with Joel while we were there.
Oh,
Good.
A nice shot.
nice
That's a
picture.
good picture.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Of everybody, it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice reunion. We of course it wasn't as hectic. There wasn't as much going on, so we got a chance to chat a lot and get to talk. I learned a lot
Well,
about. Yeah.
There weren't as many people at that one as there were at Carnegie.
Heck
No,
no.
Well, I got to meet Big Ira and Little Ira. I got to Little Ira and his wife. He's a lot of fun to talk to. You know, he's
Yeah.
funny.
He's a real piece of work.
He is.
okay, here's another picture that Ken had.
Oh, yeah.
We weren't having any fun. I want you to know that, okay?
It looks like Ronnie Sater on the bottom right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
So it was a bar song on the floor.
No,
It was
it's
a
up on the
bar-
floor.
You're on a bar.
Yeah.
All right.
A good time was had by all.
Yeah, Joel built a whole club up on the stage of the theater.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when that curtain opened.
Yeah. Magic moment.
Yeah.
Kent, you haven't changed much.
Not much. I'm hesitant to send this. I just found a file. I was on my computer. I guess I should send this next one too. Now that you said I haven't changed much, but let me. Hey, what is life but to have fun, right?
All right.
What are we here for?
What are we here for?
That's a question I ask often.
Here's a old buddies.
Pete and Barry.
Yeah.
That was the 50th there.
That was at Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to Pete, I said, look, let's get it started. And it started with the two of us. Let's get it started. The music's playing.
And right when we checked in, I was up in my room and I got a call from Tom and Kent down at the bar. I hadn't seen them in many years. Come on down, the band's playing. I said, okay. Yeah. And it was a great. In fact, I love that spontaneous stuff even better than the concert, quite honestly. Playing down there and then playing after the little upstairs. Yeah.
The lobby was fun. I remember, Tim Shea was a roommate for a while, and Tom that played the tuba a while. And so I was around all you wonderful musicians and I play a CD player now, a digital player. I don't have musical talent, but it's like there's something about the musicians that it's like in your DNA, it's in your who you are. And so they're always playing. And I watched the musicians come into the hotel when we were at the Carnegie Hall reunion. And instead of going right to the room, they would drop their stuff, several of them, and go in the bar and start playing it. And there's somewhere on a file I'm still looking for. I shot a lot of video now. I just sat back and it's so cool to see that people did that then. They did that their whole lives. And a lot of you guys are still doing it. And that to me is like sweet. That's a sweet spot of life, to do the things you love to do forever.
Yeah. That's about it. That's about it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, the magic is if you find something you like to do so well, you do it for free and then get people to give you money to do it.
There we go. That's the meaning of life there.
I remember the first time I took my wife to one of these banjo rallies, and we walked into the hotel lobby, and Dottie and my wife, she looked mesmerized. I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "I see 50 guys standing in line with beer bellies, Hawaiian shirts on, hats, carrying a banjo. I said, 50 of you. I think 50 of you. It's scary. It's scary.
Your doppelgangers are out there.
That's right.
Deja vu feeling all over again, huh?
Hawaiian shirts and beer bellies.
You know, I had a roommate who came down from. I grew up in rural Missouri. Who came down and he played guitar, Dennis Barchi, and he'd get up and play in the mornings and do stuff. And that was kind of neat to hear guitar music. And then this guy Tom, I forget, he played tuba, the mustache. I think he had a master's in tuba or something, and he stayed with us for a while he was looking for a place. And he got up and practiced. And the difference between a guitar practicing gently in the morning and a tuba practicing,
Yeah, he
are
was
significant.
He also was a good mechanic. He worked on our truck.
That's right. Yeah, he had an old Volvo.
Yeah.
This time it probably wasn't. I mean, Ken, it wasn't as bad as when y'all lived next to the Harry Krishnas, though.
Well, you know.
No, it was that Mad Dog.
Different.
One of y'all lived by Harry Krishnas. They'd wake up every morning with the little drums and the music playing. You know. Let's see. It had something else. Let's see. Now this picture, I don't know who sent it, and I don't even know who these people are. But anybody?
Well,
The guy on the right is Russ Brody.
thank you. I was just getting ready to ask him Russ stayed with me 2 different Mardi Gras when he came down. When I lived on Bourbon, and then another one place. But I can't remember the other guy. I remember him being at the club, but I remember Russ. I liked Russ. He was a nice guy. What did he do for the club? He was a vendor for.
He was man about town. Let's say he was. He owned had the franchise for a bunch of vending machines.
Oh, okay.
And I think he sold the cigarettes and chewing gum and things like that in the Boston club.
Didn't he show up in Connecticut?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Russ.
He lived on the coast of Massachusetts. I'm trying to remember the name of the town. Craig Grant and Joel and I drove up once to see him because he was very loyal on his Christmas cards, but for a couple of years he missed it. So we just decided one day we'd drive up and find him. And we did, and we had a lovely afternoon with him, and that was the last time I ever saw him.
Yeah, I remember that first year I worked at the mustache in New Orleans. Fred Hendricks asked me if I could put up Russ because he was a friend of Joel's, and I didn't only lived a few blocks down the street. So I said, yeah, sure. We had a lot of fun with him. He was just a nice guy.
Russ was a man about town, and he knew almost everybody.
I can't remember.
And if you recall, you may not recall this, but Boston had an early closing on Saturday night. You had to close up at midnight. So at midnight, at 12:01, every street is full of people with looking for a place to go. And Russ would shepherd us all down to Chinatown, where he had a couple of after-hour spots, so we could go for a drink and for Chinese food. So we did that a lot. And it was just because he knew his way around.
Well, now I know who he is. I had the picture, but I didn't even know who sent
The
it.
chap on the left, I don't know. I can't remember him.
Yeah.
I remember the guy who used to be in the club a lot, but I can't remember what his name. He didn't work there, but.
Well, that bill of fare isn't the New Orleans one, so it must have been one of the other clubs.
Well, this was at New Orleans at our club.
No, I'm just the bill of fare. It isn't what we chose. That wasn't our prices back there, so it's. Or I don't remember it being that way. So yeah, because we used to charge $1.75 for the mug and 75 cents for the beer in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a heck of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else we got.
Yeah, well, Kent just sent this one,
Okay.
and I've seen it before.
Oh yeah.
I think we
that's a good
all
picture.
had just walked
Oh,
in.
nice. That's nice. Yeah.
That's a real good picture.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. They called me up to come down, and there they were.
Yeah.
We just picked up. We hadn't seen each other probably by then in about 30 something years.
Yeah.
Just
That was
picked
a
up-
first class reunion. Look at the name tags, how nice they were.
Yeah.
That's right. Joel didn't mess around. That was good stuff.
That was great. We had a wonderful time. In fact, Tom and I were reconnected, because we hadn't seen each other in a long time, but now we stay connected a lot, not just with the Zoom, but it seems like we talk a lot.
Yep.
Tom and Emily come down to New Orleans occasionally. I think y'all coming back in May, you said?
Yep. May.
Tell me the dates yet?
Yeah, I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
In May, I'm planning to go to a banjo convention in Dearborn, Michigan.
Wow. Yeah.
The 8th to the 15th, Billy. May 8th to the 15th.
8th to the 15th. Okay.
Have to get together.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do our dinner thing. That's how we start. That's how I ended up starting the Zoom thing, was because I used to come to New Orleans and get together with Rick and Barry and everybody, and then COVID hits and we couldn't get down there, so I did the Zoom, and then it just expanded.
Yeah.
What year did the Zoom call start?
2019.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it was
5
just-
years.
just
Really?
before-
That was before COVID.
Just
No,
before.
right
yeah.
after COVID. Right during COVID.
No, before COVID. COVID
No,
was,
COVID was in
February of
2020, I think.
March
Yeah.
March 2020. Yeah, right.
March 2020. Yeah, I was.
Mardi Gras was right before COVID really took off.
They were joking about it because they were
Yeah.
talking. They called it Corona back then, and everybody was. And then I think the Corona beer people got upset. Or
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
something. I don't blame them. It's like. But yeah, that's what I remember. And because Tom had come in, he was helping me do the Orpheus Bash, and we were just all talking about it. But they actually did the parade, but it was not long after y'all were renting for about 6 months or something. But you just left because you couldn't leave to go any place to eat.
No, we had been there. We had been renting for a year and a half because the lease was up and stuff, and we used to fly down on Southwest for 2 hours, and then we had to drive for 2 days, so that just didn't work.
No, but y'all, you were planning to stay for a good long time at the time you came in. I remember COVID, and then because you stayed all through Mardi Gras, and you were even handing out cards to do jobs in New Orleans. You were gonna stick around. And then all the COVID stuff hit, and y'all went back to DC.
Yeah, but then we came back after that. I remember driving down. We flew down for right before COVID. But here's another picture. Here's Gim and Mike and Barry.
Yeah.
We need to get Gim a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, Jeff's on the side over here.
I agree.
I think that's Old Swang banjo on the right-hand side.
I think it is too.
It is. You can tell by the nose.
SAP set.
We had that Vega with that pretty gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had a lot of banjos from what he said.
I'm down to 6.
Okay.
Now here's one that I think it's Captain Ronnie, but I don't remember who else is with him.
It's Captain Tony. And look, that's when he ran for mayor of Key West, and actually
Tony. That's Ronnie again.
I think that was 1980.
But he became the mayor of Key West.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Buffett wrote a song about him, right? I went down to
Last
Captain Tony's.
Mango in Paris, I think.
Yeah. He was a real person.
Oh yeah,
Not
he was a
just to
big
meet
he
up.
was a he was a big deal down there.
Man, so Dottie came and visited me while I was playing down there one time when we were engaged to be married. And Captain Tony comes up to me and Dottie and said, "Look, you can save a lot of money. I'll take you out on one of my boats and I can marry you for free." Dottie goes, "Shit." She had a heart attack.
Yeah, her mom and dad might have had other plans too, huh?
Just a bit, probably, just a bit. Yeah.
I'll take you out on one of my boats. As the captain, I can marry you.
Too much.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Kent just sent this.
Ah,
Barry.
Oh, wow.
Look at Chris back there.
We learned such good skills working at your brother's mustache. Skills for life. How
Oh,
to
yeah.
carry an empty beer keg out to roll out the barrels.
That's a shiny beer keg. We never get no shiny ones down there.
Well, yeah, I
Ours
got
all
Brussels up next with their beer kegs.
Chris is in there. LeBeau is in there.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, there's LeBeau on the right.
right.
I think that's Barry Rank next to Chris.
I was just trying to figure that out. I think you're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I played a lot with Barry.
Well, lucky you.
Sometimes.
Okay, well, here's Brussels.
Oh yeah.
Shoot.
Boy, that keg has seen better days.
I'll tell you. Yeah.
That must not have been made out of aluminum, because you can't really bang aluminum like that.
Yeah.
Did they make them out of tin or something?
They must be special because I even an empty cake's pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's about 30
Yeah.
pounds. Ours were 30, I think, and
Yeah,
160
you-
when they were full.
Yeah, you
And
start
we were
running
young
around.
and strong, though.
You start running around with that over your head like that. My God, it's you won't last very long.
I
They
don't,
clanging them.
I don't remember what they're made of, but I played in the Brussels Club.
Oh,
There we go.
there.
Yeah.
That keg's been banged.
Wow.
Ooh.
Remember, I had a keg up about when we rolled out the barrels and it went up in the air and hit a top of a door and came out and chipped the tooth.
Oh, I remember Shard Niehaus dropped one on his head once. I
Ooh.
think
Did it hurt
twice.
the keg?
Yeah. Well, he hit the door like you said, and
Yeah.
it came straight down.
There's
Hit him.
the title on that one said Blackpool.
Oh, maybe that was okay. Blackpool Wilson.
That was
Brothers.
like,
We used to line up in the back on the way out. We'd have about 5 people with kegs, and one night we had this guy named Chard. I think it was
Sorry,
Chard.
house, oh Lord. Yeah.
And Chard was I don't know. Everybody liked him, but I didn't. So we put a full keg there. So everybody's ready to pick up their case. And Chard tried to pick it up, and it was full, and it was like, oh,
I remember,
Merry pranksters.
Whatever happened.
I remember I only weighed 135 pounds when I was working there. I was a little skinny thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to work bar. They said, you can't work the bar if you can't stack the kegs too high. So I went back there and stacked them.
Yeah.
A little bit, I could pick up a keg and put it on top of another one.
Fellas, I'm gonna have to run. So
Okay,
good
Rick.
seeing everybody.
Okay,
Good
Rick.
to see you, Rick.
See everybody next
See you
week.
next week.
yeah,
Take care.
it's a lot.
I would say Shard was the fastest beer guzzler for the beer guzzling contest I ever saw.
No, I
I
didn't.
thought Mike Gentry was.
No, Shard.
No.
Shard,
Oh,
it might have been half a second he put down 8 ounces.
This is one of our luncheons that we have when the Wolves come in town.
Yeah.
Danny and this is Danny's girl. He brought Kelly with him to the 50th reunion. You know, of course, Tom and Emily, Rick and Sandra, me and Bonnie and Barry. Where'd Dottie go? She was probably taking a picture.
Yeah, where's Dottie?
I think she was taking a photo.
Yeah. Anyway, that was at Frankie and Johnny's.
Frankie and Johnny's.
Yeah. That's a good place to go eat.
I
One
like
of my
that.
favorite places.
All righty. So we're wrapping up. I know I'm going to have to go too because the boys are over and I promised to take them to the trampoline place when they got off of school today. So watch them bounce for a while, turn off some energy.
You gonna bounce too, Billy? You gonna bounce too?
No, I just sit there and have a beer or something while they're bouncing. It's really cool. It's got all kinds of different. They can go up and down obstacle courses and bounce. I bought them a 3-month pass. It's like $20 a month for each of them. And we
That's
can go,
not bad.
oh, yeah, bounce, baby. Yeah. And, we
I
go
used
over
to
there.
take
a
my
lot.
grandson to one that burned off a lot of energy. It was
Oh, yeah.
it was a good investment.
Yeah, have some dinner and go to bed. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll see you guys next.
Okay.
Next Thursday.
Sweet.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
Take care,
Good
everybody.
to see you guys.
Have a good
Thank you,
day.
Bill. Thank you, Tom.
All right, sounds good. Bye.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.